Hello and welcome to Understanding Narcissists. Thank you so much for joining me. In this video, I am going to talk about a very simple, almost redundantly simple idea that I think when expanded gives you a point of focus in protecting yourself from narcissists. And so just for that reason, I think this video will justify itself, justify me talking about this topic, and that when I bring attention to it, it's something that will give it more value and make it more useful than when you reach it yourself and you may pass over it or not give it too much thought because it is so obvious. And because I've remarked on it probably many times in passing, and it's so small that you don't have any follow-up question for me because it's simple enough. There's nothing more to it. But when you really sit and think about it, I think it derives a lot of personal value. I think you will find that it can help you a great deal when it is on your mind, because it is so simple that you don't need to have a checklist, a list of things in your mind that you need to keep aware of at all times, something that's occupying your mind and distracting you. It's a very simple, flexible idea. Everything a narcissist does is not only trying to get you and further their control. Of course, they do that. They hurt you in the process. But it's also, the other side of it is they're trying to figure out a way to hurt you more. And the way they do that is by finding out what you care about and better ways of exploiting that for their own interests. So basically what they're doing is trying to construct this mental model they can almost reflexively refer to whenever they wish in order to get you to do what they want, in order to put you in your place. Now, there you have it. Extremely simple idea. Things you care about. And it all sits upon, I guess, a precipice of a sort, or maybe like a balance where the thing that they have to have in order to make all that happen is you're telling them things and you're being honest. And they are not. Because remember, as I've said before and as I'll say many times in the future, they don't tell you how they feel. To them, it is all a game. It is all figuring out how to get people, how to get you, how to get others, the whole world basically is a confidence trick match. Everything is people competing, trying to fool each other and get one over on one another. And that's what they do. And so, of course, the grand assumption is, well, you're not going to give away anything. You want to mislead people. You want to redirect them. You want to fool them perpetually and try to maximize sort of their own biases, sort of to be levers so that it's as easy as possible to control and manipulate people at will. There are people who do this. And narcissists are one group. And naturally, it has to be the case that the honesty is upheld. There's a front of honesty and a forthcoming sort of communication where everything is open and they're being genuine and sincere. And that's the greatest trick, I guess, of all, to redirect you, to fool you, and to pull the wool over your eyes. I'm not suggesting that you lie to them, but once that becomes the case, where you're not just an open river, because, flowing into them, because here's the thing, they crucially depend on all of that. They crucially depend on your weakness and your generosity and your sincerity and your honesty. They think they're strong, but they're really just coming at you from your own vulnerability and your own weakness. You can be strong in all different kinds of ways, but it doesn't matter because they come at you a certain angle, this angle of exploitation. And it doesn't really do them any good. In fact, it does them all bad when you have in your mind that model, when it's clear to you that everything is a feeler trying to figure out how to get you more. Because remember, the vicious cycle, I suppose, is that there's never enough, and that's something that a lot of people watching these videos and reading my stuff early come to me, and they're wondering what point is there a breaking point? Do they stop? No, it just keeps happening. And what's worse is it would seem that the more control they get, the less it satisfies them. So that the more they need, like something will come up, they'll get what they need, they inflate, and then that at some point will pop. Their ego will pop again, and they need more than before. And they kind of grow tolerant to it as well. And with that tolerance, it's just this doubling down again and again until they wear through you and wear you down like a little nub and break the whole thing. And they're not good at conserving their resources. So that simple idea, it's more sophisticated, it's more nuanced than just, well, they're bad and they're trying to get me, and this everything is economical. There's not a lot of wasted motion. I want to say there's no wasted effort or no wasted motion, like it's all everything they do is to accomplish a specific task. And while that's true, the more I go along, the more I realize it's not entirely true. They're terribly inefficient. There's all kinds of waste, there's all kinds of things they do that really work against their own controlling self-interest, but because of that they're ill, they can't help it. They don't have a choice, and so they are beholden to their problem. Now, I know I've said that before, but I want to bring that up again because I have a tendency to assume away a lot of finer details that you could find useful, but wouldn't also be overwhelming. They would be just useful, not too much information or too much that takes away from this particular topic that I'm talking about now. And so when you do reach that turning point, when I introduce that idea to you, or you discover it yourself, then you can't help it. You're going to enter a different mode. And that is that the balance is going to change and you're no longer an open book for them to just peer into. Because that's their great big assumption, is as ingenious as they're supposed to be, they really need you to be completely unaware of what they're doing, completely open with them, and beckoning them to you, allowing them into your life to muck things up, and in a lot of denial, giving them a lot of the benefit of the doubt that other people simply wouldn't do. They wouldn't put up with them. And as soon as that starts to slip, that open door policy that we too often have, I won't say they become panic-stricken, but that is where things begin to fall away. And so being aware of that point can help you when it's firmly established in your head. You don't get yourself into too much danger. Because I hate to say it, we don't need to manipulate narcissists, but we need to understand the whole dynamic so we can protect ourselves and do certain things that may involve fooling them and using them against themselves in order to protect ourselves. Maybe I've said that before. I'm going to say it more because I think it's very, very important, because I see too much that they're able to use that as sort of a rational loophole to get back into people's lives, that we just don't realize how bad they are and how much they're using us because they immerse us in it, and we fall for it even though we know better, even when we know better. And so trying to drive home that, I don't want to say total awareness, but getting you as aware as I possibly can so that you have options, you have choices open and available to you, and you're the one making those decisions, not letting them do it for you. So I hope you like this video. Like it if you do. Share it with somebody you think might benefit from it. Comment in the comment section below on what your experience with this topic is. If you think this point of no return indeed exists, that where you're aware of how the back and forth between you and a narcissist, and maybe how you feel about it, maybe what you've experienced, you've accumulated with that, and how you've overcome it and how you use it to your own benefit, or maybe use it to help others. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye and have a great day.